when you come to the United States, one of the very first things you'll have to do is meet people. And there's a huge difference between Japan and the United States in the way people approach each other. I think in the US, you're definitely going to see a lot more confidence. You're going to see a lot more peer-level relationships rather than hierarchical relationships. So in Japan, you have a boss, you have an elder, you have you have a hierarchical structure, senpai and somebody below, and et cetera, et cetera. You have all these relationships to manage. In the United States, relationships are more direct. Everybody is seen as an equal from the beginning. Obviously, you do have to give a little bit of respect for somebody who's aged or maybe somebody who is in a higher position, but not to the same level as in Japan. You're not going to change your language drastically. But what people in the United States do look for, and what is important, is being direct and appearing open. So in Japan, you may look down or you may not make direct eye contact with somebody when you first meet them. Whereas in the United States, you want to make direct eye contact to show that you're open and honest. If you don't look somebody directly in the eye, it could mean you're trying to hide something. But more importantly, it's just everybody is used to that direct sort of contact, and it's very important. And then the other one is speaking clearly. So you want to be, it's more important to be clear than it is to, if you're a little bit too loud, but the person can understand you, that's much better than being polite but a little bit too quiet. So speaking clearly is also incredibly important. And the other one is using language that is appropriate to the situation that you're in. And I think this happens in Japan somewhat, but I don't understand that bit quite as well. What I mean by that, in the United States, if you meet somebody in a park, you're going to use different language than if you meet somebody in a business setting or somebody in their home. So it can be a little bit more. It's not the same as keigo in the sense that you're dealing with level of respect. What you're dealing with is the situation that you're in. So if it's a casual situation, you want to use more casual language. Even if it's with somebody who you think might be above your social level slightly, you still want to use casual language to make them feel relaxed. One thing that's interesting that I've noted is even like a boss or somebody who would be seen in Japan as somebody who is of a higher class or higher level that you would want to be respectful towards. In America, oftentimes those people are very glad when somebody is able to talk to them like a regular person. They don't take offense to that. That actually is a nice way of saying where you can relax. This is comfortable. I'm not expecting you to be this high-level person. We can just talk as equals, and that's very important. So if you meet a movie star in a park, you don't want to say, "Oh, sir, I'm so happy to see you," or anything like that. You just want to say, "Hi, how's it going? My name is Alex," etc. So you want to bring it down to a casual level. Likewise, if you're in a business situation and you have a friend with you, but you're discussing a business meeting, or you're surrounded by people who may not know each other, you want to, even with your friend, keep a more formal tone. That will allow you to make everybody else comfortable. So those three rules are the basics. I think when you meet people, if you look them in the eye, so make sure you keep things direct and open. And it's not, a lot of times in Japan people think that looking somebody in the eye is kind of an aggressive thing, which in Japan it does, it kind of shows aggression. But in the United States, looking somebody in the eye shows honesty and openness. So I'm here and I'm not trying to do anything threatening. So look somebody in the eye, speak clearly, so just be direct and open, and make sure you're easy to understand. And then use forms of speech that is appropriate for the situation. Again, depending on where you are, try to tailor your language to that location. So business cards. This is, for me, it was very shocking. When I came to Japan, I did not realize how important the business card was. In the United States, business cards are important, but in a different way, in a much different way. In Japan, business cards are your identity. It's something that you start with, right? And it's something that there's a lot of ceremony around business cards. In the United States, business cards are important, but in a different way. The way we use business cards in the United States is as contact information. That's it. So it's not your identity, it's your contact information. I think that's very important to keep in mind. So with that, a couple of rules, which will seem strange, but very, very important. One is keep your business card to yourself. So completely opposite. When you meet somebody, do not give them your business card. Introduce yourself, speak with them, but do not give them your business card. Rule number 2, if they ask you for your business card, then you can give it to them. So wait for somebody to ask, because it's your contact information. If in the United States, if you push your business card onto somebody, it means that you're trying to sell them something, or you have some kind of agenda. You have some, you want. I guess you come on very strong. Whereas if they ask you for it, they just want to get in touch with you, so you're able to give them your contact information. And number 3, what if you're interested in somebody else's contact information, right? One thing that you shouldn't do is don't collect business cards if you're not going to use that contact information. So it's not a sign of respect if you ask somebody for their business card and then you never contact them, because it seems a little strange, right? Why would you ask me for my phone number if you're never going to call me, right? So I mean, at least that's the thinking that most people in the United States go through. So only ask for somebody's business card if you're going to contact them within a week, right? Or I mean, it doesn't have to be exactly a week, but only if you're going to really have some kind of interaction with them after the situation that you're in. And if you follow these 3 rules, I think people will be a lot more relaxed around you. One thing people don't like is, especially at business events or things like that, when everybody's asking each other for their business cards and everybody just trades business cards and then they all go in the garbage and nobody contacts each other ever again. So if you're more selective, people will value your business cards more, and they will feel more respected when you ask them for their business card, because they know you're not just doing it because you're trying to collect as many names as possible. So it makes them feel special and more exclusive. It's not at all like Japan, so try to keep that in mind, where it's not your identity, it's your contact information, right? You wouldn't go to a bar and ask everybody for their phone number, right? You would ask a couple people for their phone number who you might want to go out for drinks with again. Same idea. Make somebody feel comfortable. What you should do, the best thing to do is not to slouch, but the best thing to do is to mirror them. So watch what they're doing, right? So if you go into an interview and the guy is sitting like this, you should sit like this, right? If you go into an interview and the guy is like this, then you mirror. Do mirroring. And this actually works everywhere, even if you're on a date. If you're on a date, you should also mirror. It's going to make the other person feel very relaxed, right? So if you're on a date with a guy or a girl and they keep like relaxing or doing this, if you mirror, they're going to feel way more comfortable than if you're being proper. Okay? So depending on the situation you're in, watch what the other people are doing and copy that. That'll give you the most success. No book on etiquette will help you as much as just mirroring. They've done a lot of experiments on this, and constantly, time and time again, mirroring shows to create the strongest link between people. And it goes back to putting yourself into a similarity, into the in-group. Also, mirroring applies not just to your body posture, but it also applies to the language you use. For example, if I go to America and I always say good day to people, right? Good day, good day, good day. That's going to make people feel a lot less comfortable than if I say hello or howdy or what's up, right? So even there, on those small things, pick up on the small things that people are doing and try to mirror them. And I think you're going to have a lot of success. That is etiquette at its finest, is when you're able to pick up on what the other person is doing and copy that. Okay? It's very good. The question is, just for everybody, is how do I understand why somebody is doing what they're doing? And is there any way to figure that out from just watching somebody? If you just see people, bowing all the time, how do I figure out why they're bowing? And one thing about etiquette, especially when you go to a new place and it's an unfamiliar place, my first piece of advice is don't worry about it. This is very frustrating because I do see a lot of, and actually a lot of Americans do this when they come to Japan as well. Why do you do that? Why do you do that? Why do you do that? Why do you put your chopsticks here? Why do you bow? Why do you say this? Why do you say that? Don't worry about it. Stop asking why. Just mirror. Okay? Just copy. It's the way we learn. And the reason I say that is when we're little kids, right, we ask why sometimes, but we don't really care why. What we do is we just copy what everybody around us does. And kids do that because it's effective, right? It's effective in making sure that that kid fits into wherever he's at. So when you're in a new place and you're already going to have a lot of things to think about, you already have a lot of things that you're trying to deal with, don't worry about trying to understand why something is going on, especially with etiquette. Sometimes nobody knows why. Sometimes these rules have been around for so long that people have no idea why they're doing what they're doing. Okay? So don't worry too much about the why. Worry more about fitting in with the group that you're with. And once you're comfortable and once you're in that group, then you can kind of talk about those kind of topics and you can say, oh, that's kind of interesting. I wonder why we do what we do. But you want to bring it up as why do we do what we do, not why do you do that. Because when you say why do you do that, again, you're putting yourself in the out group very quickly. Okay? You've just become an outsider. So, and that's why I say it's not because it's not a good question. It's an excellent question. Why do we do that? For me, it's the most interesting question. But if you ask that, or if you try to figure that out too soon, you're going to put yourself in the out group, or you're just going to confuse yourself. So don't worry about it from the beginning. First, get into the group, and then when you're in the group, then you can say, why do we do this? Does anybody know why we do this? And then it's kind of fun, and then you can figure it out. But in all honesty, it's not important why things are done. What's important is that you do them. It's kind of strange, but honestly, that's the most practical advice I can give you. Don't stress the history. Worry more about the actual situation.